Details on AEW's plans for Adam Copeland and Christian Cage to reunite on AEW television. Buddy Matthews reveals he suffered a setback as he recovers from an ankle injury. Plans for Athena to compete at AEW All in Texas have been revealed. Details on how many episodes of Raw Goldberg is scheduled for ahead of his retirement match against Gunther at Saturday night's main event. Will CM Punk respond to John Cena tonight on Raw after Cena cut a version of Punk's infamous pipe bomb promo Friday night on SmackDown? WWE President Nick Khan details his working relationship with Paul Levesque. WWE files an interesting trademark hinting at an upcoming possible show. Details on the gambling skit that aired during AEW Collision on Saturday. CM Punk says that Liv Morgan is his MVP for 2025 so far, and Randy Orton claims he'll set a new WWE record when he competes at SummerSlam. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Before we begin, a reminder, this Saturday we will be live for WWE Night of Champions. We'll have a live watch-along and a live post-show once the show goes off the air. So be sure to join us. All of the details, as always, will be in the sidebar. Click notification bell, you'll be notified when we go live for both Night of Champions streams. Let's begin today talking about Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, multi-time WWE Tag Team Champions. Will they reunite in All Elite Wrestling? Could Cope and Christian reunite as a tag team in AEW? Now, the working plan was for the former multi-time WWE Tag Team Champions to join forces against FTR at All In on July 12th in Arlington, Texas. However, it was reported earlier this month that there could be issues preventing that match from going ahead. In an update, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select noted that a reunion is still in the works, but it may not happen by the time of All In. Per the report, Christian wants to make sure that things with the Patriarchy stable are fleshed out, which has caused some slowdown for several performers. Christian hasn't wrestled since Revolution on March 9th, where he competed in a three-way AEW World title match with Jon Moxley and Cope, but he has remained a fixture on AEW television in the time since. The Rated R superstar, meanwhile, was written off television by FTR at Dynasty on April 4th. The 51-year-old has talked about retiring when his current AEW contract expires around October of 2026. The last time Cope and Christian teamed up was against Alberto Del Rio and Brodus Clay on the March 28th, 2011 edition of WWE Monday Night Raw. Now, an injury update here on Buddy Matthews, and it's not good news for the former House of Black stablemate. Buddy Matthews has suffered a setback in his recovery from an ankle injury, announcing on Instagram Live that he is 2 months behind schedule and the injury is now chronic. He said, quote, "The ankle is not recovering as well as I thought it would be. There's no mobility to it. If I can't have mobility, I can't move properly. Once it hits the 3 months without healing, it becomes chronic. I thought I'd be back in the ring in April," Matthews said. Of course, Matthews rolled his ankle at AEW Grand Slam Australia in February of this year, sustaining the injury while he jumped from the turnbuckle to the mat during his entrance. Matthews was able to work his AEW Continental title match against Kazuchika Okada without any obvious issues, but he was noticeably hobbling when walking backstage post-match. The former AEW World Trios champion revealed soon after that he didn't suffer a broken ankle, but he did sustain ligament and cartilage damage. He said, quote, "It's okay, rolled it pretty bad, had an x-ray, MRI, there was no break, but there was partial ligament tear and cartilage damage. I'm walking, I haven't ran, I haven't jumped, I've started implementing cardio, but then it kind of stiffens up. And, we're working through it. But the docs were telling me I've never seen an ankle roll that much under someone without completely destroying, smashing, disintegrating the bones. So I didn't break a bone, which was incredible, but then I had to wrestle for 15 minutes after it," Matthews told Chris Van Vliet on Insight. Now, Athena, we may have an update when it comes to her plans for AEW All In Texas. Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena will indeed be wrestling in her home state of Texas at AEW All In next month. Athena recently expressed uncertainty about if she would be performing at All In, telling the Takedown on SI, quote, "I don't know if that's in my stars. If not, I have a Ring of Honor pay-per-view that I will probably be defending my championship on. I would probably be super bummed out if I wasn't on All In, but honestly, there's still time," end quote. Now, many fans on social media were unhappy about the possibility that Athena may not wrestle at All In. Fortunately for those fans, Athena will be competing at All In, with Dave Meltzer reporting on Wrestling Observer Radio that Athena is planned to defend the Ring of Honor Women's World title at the July 12 show against Thunder Rosa. Athena and Rosa are currently in a program across All Elite Wrestling and Ring of Honor, with Athena pinning Rosa to end the 8-woman tag team match in the main event of the June 21st episode of Collision. Athena picked up the win after hitting Rosa from behind with a title belt thrown in the ring by Red Velvet, with Billy Starks distracting the referee. Velvet's involvement was a tease for Ring of Honor CMLL Global Wars, which will air on Thursday, June 26th. Athena and Red Velvet versus Thunder Rosa and Fasone was already taped in Arena, Mexico. Now, an update here on plans for Goldberg as we get closer and closer to his retirement match against Gunther at Saturday night's main event. According to PW Insider, the plan for Goldberg is to appear on all the episodes of Raw leading to his retirement match at the next Saturday night's main event versus Gunther, with only one exception, that being next week's episode in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the former Universal Champion reportedly not scheduled for that show. Speaking of people being scheduled for Raw, CM Punk, will he be on Raw tonight? Of course, he's a member of the Raw roster. And will we hear a response from him after John Cena embarrassed him and cut a version of his infamous pipe bomb promo Friday night on SmackDown? Now, according to PW Insider, for those waiting for CM Punk's response to John Cena, it was said that Punk is not written in to tonight's episode of Raw by creative sources. So it appears we won't hear a response to Cena's version of the pipe bomb promo until this Friday, that being a 3-hour episode of SmackDown in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, that being just 24 hours before Night of Champions, where Punk will clash against John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. Now, Nick Khan, he spoke about his working relationship with Triple H. Considering the size of a company like World Wrestling Entertainment, it takes a lot of strong-minded people to keep everything running smoothly. WWE have two very strong-minded people near the top of their own food chain in the form of Paul Triple H Levesque as the company's chief content officer and head of creative, and Nick Khan as the WWE president and board member of TKO Group Holdings. Khan and Levesque work closely on major aspects of the company, and during a special appearance on former WWE CEO and Levesque's real-life wife Stephanie McMahon's What's Your Story podcast, Khan revealed what it's like working so closely with the game. Quote, Paul and I, Triple H and I, we make mistakes in business every day. The good thing is we have one another, where we can say, I think I did this. What do you think? I don't think that was the move. Maybe we could think of another way. Okay, let's try that. And then the executive committee meeting the executive committee part of me, the senior leadership team will say, hey, this got messed up. We're going to pivot. We're going to XYZ instead, and everyone rolls in the same direction. In the lead-up to WrestleMania 41, Levesque took great pleasure in revealing to the world that Khan had actually worked for the WWE back in the 1990s, as he was actually an usher at Caesar's Palace when WWE hosted WrestleMania 9 in Las Vegas in 1993. All of the footage came to light during the release of a documentary showing unreleased backstage footage of WWE's first attempt to bring its flagship event to Sin City. Now, has WWE revealed an interesting show they've got planned for the future in the form of a new trademark? Potential WWE plans for a new show have been revealed through a recent trademark filing with the United States Patent and Trademark Office. WWE filed to trademark WWE Late Night on June 20th with the USPTO. The filing was submitted for the following purposes: entertainment services, namely hosting and producing live comedic performances; entertainment services, namely hosting and producing live entertainment shows; arranging and conducting entertainment events; providing a website in the field of entertainment. Now, one potential reason for the filing could be to launch a WWE late night talk show, with the late night talk shows being popular in the United States, including the likes of Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Late Show, The Tonight Show, and The Daily Show. WWE have hosted talk shows for decades, integrating them into their weekly program. The most iconic WWE talk show segment remains Piper's Pit, hosted by Rowdy Roddy Piper, but other popular additions include the likes of The Highlight Reel, hosted by Chris Jericho, The Miz and John Morrison's Dirt Sheet, The Barber Shop with Brutus Beefcake, The Kevin Owens Show, as well as Miz TV. A WWE show scheduled to undergo a change is Friday Night SmackDown, as the series will go back to being a 2-hour show on July 4th. SmackDown has been 3 hours since the beginning of 2025. Now, if you're watching Collision this past Saturday, you would have seen a gambling skit on the show. A unique segment took place on the June 21st edition of AEW Collision during the match between Swerve Strickland and Shane Taylor. Strickland was accompanied to the ring by Prince Nana, while Taylor was joined at the ring by his Shane Taylor Promotions faction mate Sean Dean, Carly Bravo, and Trish Adora. All of the competitors quickly began betting hundreds of dollars as the match got underway, with Tony Schiavone even putting down $100 on the outcome of the match. The match ended with a win for Swerve Strickland, who took out Shane Taylor Promotions after they tried to stop Prince Nana from stealing the money and followed up with a house call to Taylor. After the match, Prince Nana celebrated with a t-shirt full of money before the $100 bills were handed to fans at ringside during the commercial break. Brian Alvarez reported on Wrestling Observer Radio that real money was actually used for the segments, and one fan ended up receiving $300. Quote, "You want to know a true story? There was a guy in the front row as everyone was taking bets who literally threw $100 into the pot. I don't know who he bet on, but he didn't get his money back, so maybe Shane Taylor. But the point is, when it was over, everyone started tossing the money into the crowd, and someone at ringside ended up with $300. So they were betting with real money," Alvarez said. In the main event of Collision, as we spoke about earlier on, Athena pinned Thunder Rosa following an 8-woman tag team match. This will reportedly lead to a Ring of Honor Women's World Championship match at the upcoming AEW All-In Texas pay-per-view. Now, CM Punk, he's named Liv Morgan as his MVP of 2025 so far, and looked back at her work since signing in 2014. Punk made the comments about Liv Morgan, who suffered an injury on the June 16th episode of Raw at the start of her match with Kairi Sane. During a live recording of Kevin Hart's Cold as Balls at Fanatics Fest, CM Punk opened up about Morgan and her MVP status, saying, quote, "Shout out to Liv Morgan, who recently got injured. She was like my MVP for the year. I look at people like Liv, who probably started right after I left, 2014-ish, and just from the time I've been around her, been able to see her work, just the way she's developed this last year and just broken out of her shell and turned into this little worker. It kind of warms my heart. I missed the first part of her journey, but to be here to see her grow into who she's become, it's disappointing she got injured, but it's part of the process. Nobody gets out alive, is what I like to say. When you do this, it's just part of the job." Liv Morgan returned from a shoulder injury at the Royal Rumble in January 2024, getting down to the final two before being eliminated by Bayley. She would go on to feud with Rhea Ripley and steal her way to the heart of Dominic Mysterio and the Judgment Day and become the WWE Women's Tag Team Champion, as well as holding the Women's World Championship. But of course, before her injury, Morgan went on a brief hiatus to film a role in a major motion picture directed by Takashi Miike. And finally, Randy Orton's looking to make history at SummerSlam this year. Randy Orton has had a pretty incredible legacy at WWE SummerSlam PLEs throughout his career, with his first SummerSlam match being in 2003 inside the Elimination Chamber. Orton has faced the likes of The Undertaker, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, and even Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam events, with the latter's encounter being Hogan's final WWE match. While at this weekend's WWE SummerSlam kickoff, Orton reflected on his SummerSlam legacy and how he wants to immortalize it. Quote, "I did win my very first World Championship at SummerSlam in 2004, and I went on to compete in 16 SummerSlams so far. That has me tied for the most SummerSlam matches in the history of the WWE, tied with the one and only Undertaker. So at SummerSlam, this will be my record-setting match. I tell you what, I see me leaving MetLife Stadium with gold around my waist, Michael Cole, and I'm going to fight John Cena. I'm going to do it at MetLife. I'm going to have all these beautiful New Yorkers there cheering my ass on," Orton proclaimed. After winning a Battle Royal on WWE Raw in July 2004, Orton became the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship and would shockingly defeat Chris Benoit to win the title and become the youngest world champion in WWE, surpassing a record set by Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam 2 years prior. Orton is currently in the finals of this year's King of the Ring tournament, representing SmackDown, and will face the winner of Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes on Raw tonight to determine the Red Brand's representative. The tournament finals take place this coming Saturday at Night of Champions in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. If Orton wins the tournament, he will challenge Cena at SummerSlam for the undisputed WWE Championship. Of course, we'll have full coverage of Night of Champions this weekend with a watch-along and a post-show, as well as SummerSlam later on this summer, with both nights covered with watch-alongs and post-shows for both, so be sure to join us then. So there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe. As you can see right there, we're getting closer and closer to 22,700 subscribers on that road to 23k, on the long road to 25k. Of course, the aim this year is to get to 25k in 2025. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Join the ever-expanding WNU. In addition, you can become a member of the WN365 roster. Links in the video description below. You can click the join button or scan the QR code when it appears on the sidebar. And as you can see in the sidebar right now, we've got so many upcoming watch-alongs and post-shows, live streams here on the channel. All of the details, as always, will be in the sidebar, so be sure to check that out. And be sure to click the notification bell. You'll be notified when indeed we go live for any single live stream. Appreciate everyone for tuning in, as always, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video
on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.